like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right. Shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation. We up in this thing. Sports Coma, Humpday Heat. We up in this thing. Much love to y'all. Appreciate y'all being in the stream on this one. Please do your boy a service and hit the like button, the subscribe, the notification, and the share button. It's a lot of buttons to hit, but they're very conveniently placed for your for your convenience. So big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all. And like I've been saying for some time, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fan, man. And guess what, man? We're in this thing, and it's Tyler Shough time. We are in the Tyler Shough era. We covered this early this morning on the morning stream. We coming back for the night stream. Tyler Shough named Saints QB1. We know that, but for the remainder of the 2025 season after Spencer Rattler's benching. So this is the thing that the Saints got going on. They're going to ride with Tyler. And we knew ultimately this was the selection that was made by Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore selected this guy. It's in the second round of the draft, very highly. And with the Saints having a disastrous Mike Ditka era level record of 1-7, we are now looking at an absolute total developmental year, according to the flabby, loose, and ridiculous jaws of Mickey Mouse Loomis. So we are in this part, and we shall watch Shough and some very interesting football. It's going to be interesting because the issue is with Tyler Shough as being just a cold-blooded rookie. He's going to have to get used to the plays that Fire Marshal Bill, that's Doug Nussmeier and Kellen Moore calls, which are most of these calls are just ridiculous, to be honest with you. And there's too much east to west crap, and there's not enough vertical stuff, and they need to cut that out. Now you got a guy with a big arm, and I do think Tyler Shough's arm is bigger than what Rattler's arm is. But you got to have, when you have a guy that can throw it down the field, and you got speedy guys all over the place, you just turn it into a track meet and let them go. Stretch out the defenses and just have fun. I ain't saying run the fun and the fun and gun, but what's the purpose of having 4-3 guys if all you doing is cross routes and slants inside? We gotta get, let's have fun. You're not going anywhere. Ain't no 1-7 team ever won. Not saying that is mathematically impossible, but it ain't never happened in this here NFL on this planet in the last 100 years of football that a 1-7 team won a bunch of games and made themselves eligible for the playoffs. Never happened. Will it happen with the Saints this year? I'm not going to say it is. All we can do is watch. When you're watching the Saints, is watching for the future and looking at it and saying, man, hopefully this can be something that can be built upon. So that's the news from Tyler Shough. Of course, Nick Underhill kind of broke that thing down. And he did, and Tyler Shough had an opportunity to play, but with them having an opportunity to get in there and learn the plays, we're going to see exactly what Tyler Shough can do. Now, he ain't exactly a normal rookie. The guy's 26 years old, so he got to learn fast. A 40th overall selection out of Louisville in the second round, 26 years old, showed some signs of promise in preseason. With a 67% completion rate, over 300 yards in 3 appearances. He also had 1 touchdown and 1 interception. It was a close battle between Spencer and Tyler, with Spencer winning, getting opportunity to start 8 games for the Saints before they said enough is enough and pulled the plug on the Spencer Rattler thing. I think Spencer finished at his record of 1-11, And it's just what it is. So Tyler Shough steps in, and I'm not expecting any miracles, but it's just an opportunity for the people to absorb. All right, watch Spencer Rattler grow in this Saints offense. So Saints will be hoping that Shough can spark an offense that is ranked 27th in the NFL by averaging a mere 295 total yards per game. New Orleans owns the league's 4th worst scoring offense, averaging 16 points a game. It was 18. They went backwards. 16 points a game is not going to cut it because you got to throw the damn ball downfield. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. 16 points a game is putrid. Anyway, we're going to do the preview of here. I just wanted to share a little game with you about that. Also, the Saints did have some roster moves to announce as we jump right into it. Shout out to you guys. I see you hit that like button for me. Saints announced some roster moves as well for the broadcast. So, the Saints needed some help at the running back position, and they made an announcement. Slick Mick and Loomis, why now? Made an announcement today, a transaction alert, that he announced that the club has signed running back Evan Hull, Hull, to the practice squad and have terminated the practice squad contract of defensive tackle Keziah Izzard. So Hull, who's 5'10", 210, originally signed with the Colts as an undrafted back out of Northwestern in 2023. He appeared in 2 games for the Colts in 23 and 24, carrying once for 1 yard, a 6-yard reception in that season. In 2024, he was with the Steelers, had carried the ball 11 times for 33 yards and caught 2 passes for 8 yards. In Northwestern, he played a total of 37 games. He had 23 starts, posted a total of 488 rushes for over 2,400 yards. He averaged 5 yards a carry, had 18 touchdowns and 94 catches for 851 and 4 touchdowns. He gained all Big Ten honorable mention in his first 2 seasons. And as a senior, he started 12 games and finished with 221 yards, 1,913 yards, 5 touchdowns, and had 55 catches, led all FBS running backs for 546 yards with 2 touchdowns. So he's a dual threat back guy. If you watch the footage, is a decent running back and a good practice squad running back to have. And remember, the Saints, the reason why they're reaching at Evan Hall, and they tried out other people, and I was hoping that they signed T.D. Price, the running back from LSU, who was drafted in the 3rd round with the 49ers and ultimately released him. But they liked what Evan Hall could do. But the issue was because Velus Jones Jr. was picked up, and I think it was with Seattle. Seattle was the team that picked up Velus Jones Jr., and they kept releasing him, and Seattle said, we can use a guy that can run and catch the ball, and that's very versatile. So Velus was ultimately taken from the Saints. Saints had to replace him. And Evan Hall is a guy that they believe can help out on the practice squad. So this is a move by Mickey Lomas and a couple of the people to be made noteworthy of. And let's kind of look at that practice squad. Why don't we right here to see what we looking like currently on the Saints practice squad right now? Kevin Austin Jr., Dallas Beanham, Ronnie Bell, the wide receiver. So you got 2 wide receivers. Kevin Austin Jr. is there. Ronnie Bell, a wide receiver, is also there. Safety Elliott Davison. Fadil Diggs is still there. Running back Audric Estime. Remember, they picked him up. That's one of Sean Payton's guys who was out there. Jake Hayner's there. Evan Hall, you can see, is there. Easton Kilty is an offensive lineman. Iku Leota, who was elevated last week. The last back-to-back weeks, he was elevated to the standard roster. Matavo's still there. Dante Pettis, the wide receivers, there. Jaden Price, Nephi Sewell, Will Sherman, offensive guard, Charlie Smith, the backup kicker, and Trayton Welch, the tight end. This is your practice squad right here. And it's interesting, but this is what the Saints are dealing with so far. All right, anyway, let's move on to another report here. And, man, this is one that I'm glad to hear. Former Saints first rounder could be on a trade block with the right price. Shout out to Saints Wire, who covered this scoop, and we are less than a week out from the trade deadline, and speculation is picking up that the Saints might be sellers. Oh, no, ain't no speculation. They're absolutely sellers. So who would be on the move? A lot of rumors have centered around wide receiver cores. We're talking about it's a situation where I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Payton sent the Saints a draft pick for Rashid Shaheed. The Saints have already made the decision that they're not going to keep Rashid Shaheed, an absolute speed demon. They're going to go in a different direction. Also, Saints Rumorville is saying that the Saints are working on an extension for Chris Olave. That has been something that's been on the rumor mill for a while, and it's taken a while to get there. But could this just be something that is being said to appease the wide receiver until a trade comes through? Because there are a lot of people out there on the trade that believe that if Chris Olave is available to be traded, in the rumor mill saying he is, then there could be some teams that can offer the Saints at least a third draft pick, or highest is a 3rd round pick. Some say 2nd, but as high as a 3rd round pick for Chris Olave. Would you pull that deal? Would you want that deal? Would you want a 3rd and a 5th for Chris Olave? Would that help out with injury history and all? So that would be something to be looking at. The Saints would just have to start all over again with the wide receiver core if Rashid Shaheed is gone and Chris Olave is on the trade block. Devon Velley's there, and Jalen Polk, the wide receiver you picked up from the Patriots, will be back. He will be here next year. And, of course, you'll have the draft, which you're currently lined up for the first pick for. I don't think it'll be for a wide receiver. It should be for some line help, you know. But anyway, Brandon Cooks is on that as well, who shouldn't even be a Saint by my account. But he's also on the trade deadline. So there are quite a few people that could be. How about another one for you? And this one right here is rightfully so. I don't know what you're going to get for him, but a lot of rumors have centered around the receiving core. We've seen proposals floating to move for left guard Trevor Penning. I don't know if people want to take Trevor Penning. That's almost, I ain't gonna say it's worse as you trying to trade Isaiah Foskey the Snowman. I don't know that, but it might be right guard Cesar Ruiz. How about that? Cesar Ruiz, who gets dealt instead. The veteran starter hasn't met expectations in Kellen Moore's offense. Many people around the league are watching the 1-7 Saints closely near the trade deadline. What transpires over the next week will say something about where the Saints feel they stand in the roster building process, which to most should be rebuilding. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler wrote, the sense is the Saints will have to at least listen to offers on certain players. Teams I've spoken to are under the impression that Cesar Ruiz might be available at the right price. Listen, man, I say it's good. I say absolutely you can have him. Trevor Penning should not be re-signed at the left guard position. Let somebody else deal with him. His technique is already in his genes. Bad technique. He plays with it consistently. And Cesar Ruiz was not a good pick for the Saints. They converted him to a guard. His technique is awful, and he has not gotten better. He's plateaued. And whatever it is, he was kind of getting looked past because of how bad Penning looked. But now that people have fixated, I've been telling y'all about Cesar Ruiz, just like I'm telling y'all about McCoy and what we need to do about McCoy. We watched offensive lineman Ryan Ramczyk, notably, who had an injury, and he just tailed down and he was a shell of himself with that bad knee. It's not a knee issue with McCoy, but it's rapid injuries that keep stealing great slops of games from him. Like he'll miss the rest of this season. It's like 7-8 games remaining. So he'll miss all of that. And from my count over the last 4 years, 24 games he's missed. That is showing you that his body's breaking down and that you need to do something, whether it's in the draft or signing or grooming a center to replace him. Because if he's missing that many games, he cannot be a person that you can count on there. You need somebody that's going to be there. And like I said, the game is the game, and it is simply what it is. But as far as Cesar Salad Ruiz is concerned, while the Saints wouldn't be on the hook for Ruiz's $9.5 million base salary in 2026 and 27, they would have to deal with more than $14.1 million left behind as dead money next season. Saints don't care about no dead money. That's Mickey Dumb Loomis with that. That's not insignificant. And the savings for trading Ruiz right now will come up to $12 million or $12,000. But if they're rebuilding the offensive line from inside out anyway with bookend tackles in place between Fuaga and Banks Jr., then it's worth moving on from a player who isn't a part of the solution. He is not helping the team there. We can find a better player. Now, if you have to take a hit, hopefully they don't take much of a hit, but somebody going to take Cesar Ruiz off your hands. Hell, somebody might be able to teach him how to block consistently, right? But I think this is a good thing. And I just want to kind of put out there to the rest of the NFL world that we're moving Juwan Johnson too. Let's put that in the atmosphere. Let's clean these buffoons out of here, man. Let's get these guys out of here that don't know how to catch. This man be dropping the easiest passes. I mean, you watch the tape of this dude just dropping. These are concentration drops for a $10 million tight end, bro. You making $10 million. You still doing the stupid, dumb stuff you did in your first year, your second year. Concentration drops, seriously, bro? Dude can't be counted on. He's not a security blanket for anybody. So I'm putting it out in the atmosphere that Juwan Johnson is on the trade block as well. Let's all collectively say it with me as I begin to say it right now. Juwan Johnson is on the trade block, and we will trade him before the trade block. That is wishful thinking. As a sports coma affirmation that we want Juwan Johnson gone. Anybody y'all want Juwan Johnson? Come on and get him. Cesar Ruiz is available. Penning is available. Juwan Johnson is available. We got work for you. If you want to, we got some people for you. You just got to throw up some picks and you can have them. Let's get these guys out of here and get it right. Let's get it right. Enough of these people collecting money for nothing. And they can't even perfect their crafts. I mean, come on, man. Anyway, let's keep it moving, man. As we get ready to hit this, what is it? The injury report. There you go. The first injury report of the week. Wednesday's injury report. And let's see who's on it. Alvin Kamara is on the top of it, but there are 6 New Orleans Saints players listed on the report for the Week 9 matchup versus the Rams at LA. Saints Alvin Kamara has an ankle. He was limited. So did Devin Neal. Both him, Kamara, and Devin Neal is dealing with ankle issues. That's why the Saints made the move to pick up Mr. Hall. But they also have Audric Estime on the practice squad. They probably could activate them. More than likely, they're probably going to activate him as a third back. Wide receiver Rashid Shaheed is dealing with a hip issue, which he's limited. Alontae Taylor with a shoulder was limited. Jawan Johnson dealing with a neck because the Who Dat Nation is almost running around, I guess, trying to strangle him. So he's dealing with a neck issue, but he fully practiced. Chris Olave had an ankle that he fully practiced as well. So we got guys like Rashid and Olave, and we're putting out there Jawan Johnson on the trade block, right? And, of course, another player that could be, even though I don't think it is, that I did hear speculation is Alontae Taylor. Alontae Taylor is facing a year or two as well, where he'll be looking for an agreement. Do the Saints pay Alontae Taylor, or do they start all over on the back end with somebody else? This is stuff that we have to kind of look at. But anyway, because you don't know what the plans is, if there is a plan of what they're going to do, keep some of this talent and kind of build around what you got. But I say gut the interior offensive line and keep McCoy, but find a suitable replacement for him over the next 2 years. You know. So anyway, that's the injury report. The Rams, speaking of what they got, nothing to be reported on right now for the LA Rams. It's going to be interesting. And it's Wednesday, fam, so it's time to do the game preview for the Saints and the Rams. So, you know, of course, the Saints 1-7, the Rams stand at a comfortable, 5-2 and first in the NFC West. So this team is leading the NFC West. They are a very interesting team, to say the least. Matt Stafford is Matt Stafford. They have players all over the place. They got a hell of a coach that operates and runs. They have an identity they play behind. They play fast. I like how the Rams' pace is. They got a quarterback that can throw it all over the field, wide receivers that can go and get it. They got a good running back by committee approach, and they have a decent offensive line. Their defense is also always not, that handles business. They lost some really good players, but they just keep it rolling. Braden Fisk and Jared Verse, those guys, Omar Spates, and these guys, they're talented players that make things happen. So we'll talk about these guys. We'll go over the statistics of what's going on right about now. Y'all hit that like button. All right, so here we go. We're getting right into it. Between the Rams, and I'm going to spare you all of the backdrops and all of this history between the two clubs. What really makes sense to us is that we kind of look at the stats, because the stats give us a good indication of what we're looking at here in terms of the black and gold. 5-2 is what the Rams are, as you guys can see right here. Saints 1-7. Look at the scoring average. Saints averaging 16 points. That's 29th out of 32 teams in the league. The Rams are tied for 11th in the NFL, averaging 25 flat, and they hold you down. They keep you right under 17 points a contest, which shouldn't be hard for the Rams against the Saints. That's the top three, by the way. So they got the 11th top offense and the third best defense in the entire NFL. The Saints average 16 points. We could flip that and have the Saints averaging 26 points a game and keeping you with 16 points. That we will be 7-1. We will be 7-1. This will be an awesome matchup here, but that's fairy tale land right now. It's fairy tales. 16 is what the Saints score, and they give up 26.1. So they give up almost 10 points, or really over 10 points more than what they doing there. So 26 is allowed a game, and that's crazy because the Rams average 25, the Saints give up 26, and the Rams stop you at 17. The Saints average 16. That's weird. The total offensive rank for the Saints in terms of offensive yardage, they average 295, which is 27th in the league. The Rams are a ridiculous, look at that, 360 yards a game, which is top 6. Saints have their work cut out for them defensively. Rush offense, Saints ranked 28th in the NFL. The Saints can't run the ball, 93.6 through 8 games. The Saints cannot run the ball. Look at that, 28th in the NFL. They done dropped to 93.6 a game. That's ridiculous. The Rams, however, 103.4, which is 22, which is basically 10 yards more, almost 10 yards more than the Saints rush passing offense, NFL, the Saints give up or throw at 200 yards or 201.4, which is 22nd. The Rams 256.7, which is third in the NFL. Total defense, Saints surrender 320 in the NFL, which is 15th. The Rams 328, which is 13th. The Saints allow you to rush at 124 yards a game, which is 20th. The Rams stop you at 105.9, which is middle of the pack. The Saints give up 196 yards through the secondary, which is top 10. That's 9th, which is a positive stat, probably the best stat we have as far as this 1-7 team goes. That the young secondary has really handled up. 160, 9th in the NFL versus the Rams 208.3, which is 14th, middle of the pack. So this is some of the stuff that we see here. The Saints in time of possession averages are very similar. The Saints have 12 touchdowns for the year. The Rams with 21. The Saints have 63 penalties on the season. The Rams have 38. So you can see exactly what's going on and where the problem and the issues reside with the New Orleans Saints football team, right? We can understand that quite profusely. So let's take a look at, as we keep it moving, we're going to take a look at some of the game changers for the Rams. We already know who our guys is, but some of the people for the Rams, as you can tell, Matt Stafford, 5-2 club, over 1,800 yards for Stafford. We know he's known for throwing it around. He averages almost 8 yards per throw. His completion percentage is 66.1%, 17 touchdowns just against 2 interceptions. He's been sacked 11 times. Incredibly very great numbers, 17 touchdowns versus 2 picks. His rating is 109.3. So Stafford is having a really solid year. As the team kind of start off having some issues, but they seem to have gotten a niche and they're rolling pretty good now. So he's the guy. He moves the ball around to all the top targets. So you have to have a running attack to balance, and it is Kyren Williams, fantastic running back out of Notre Dame, a couple of year veteran. He was really doing his thing. 107 carries for 472. A guy with power and speed, can catch the ball off the backfield. They do throw in Blake Corum to help out and complement with what he does, and both of these backs do well. Kyren Williams is 4.4. Blake Corum is almost 5 yards on the carry average, right, coming into this thing. So it's a very interesting dynamic the Rams have with Williams and Corum as a running back tandem to go along with Matt Stafford, who loves to kind of throw that thing all around. Puka is still having an injury. I don't know if he plays in this game, but he's clearly the top wide receiver, a big play wide receiver like him, with 54 grabs for 616 yards. He averages over 11 yards per catch and has 2 touchdowns. His average is almost 103 yards per game. So the Saints' number 9 ranked secondary will have to stop Puka if he plays. And I know he's nicked up. I think he's supposed to play in this game. They're going to have to try to slow him down. Devontae Adams is the other guy, 31 catches for 431 yards and 6 touchdowns. So he's really doing his thing as well. And Kyren, the running back I told you about, he's the third in terms of catches on the team. He has 20 catches for 166 yards, and he has 3 touchdowns. So Adams is doing what he does, catching the ball. So it's very interesting, man, to see how this team performs with Puka and Adams getting him involved. This is going to be interesting. Tutu Atwell is injured. He's usually a little speed demon, but they do have Jordan Whittington. This is the other receiver, the third wide receiver that you guys have to kind of look out for. He's a 6th-round guy out of Texas, Longhorn land. And he's one of these guys that do have the size and the speed to play the position. He's another of the guys that they have there. 12 catches off of 17 grabs, attempts or targets rather. He has 121 yards. He averaged 10 yards a catch as well. So as you can tell, these guys, all of them average. Puka, Devontae Adams, those guys averages over 10 yards, ridiculous high yardage per catch. Adams almost 14 yards per catch, 11 for Puka. And you can look at Jordan Whittington averaging 10 for himself. So with a wide open offense like what the Rams run, man, listen, it's going to be difficult. They're going to test the Saints secondary And it's going to be interesting. Of course, the tight end, Tyler Higbee, is also listed as there. 21 targets, 13 catches for 121 in the score. He averages over 9 yards per catch. And Davis Allen, who's the other guy. So they have a couple of tight ends they use. We know Higbee is a guy that can sneak you as well, that is the safety blanket for Matt Stafford. And he has some talent. This offense has some talent, and they can move with the best of them, especially when Matt Stafford's on a roll. And the bottom line is you're going to have to do everything you can to kind of, to get him off center and make it aggressive. Saints can't sit on their ass and let Matt Stafford sit back there, set the table, and serve everybody lunch. They have to get after him and force him off his square, knock him around, pressure him up the middle. They can't rush for and not get home against Stafford. He'll demolish you. So that's a part of it right there. You can't let him get comfortable back there. And, of course, as we transition to the defensive side, the top tackles, Nate Landman, the linebacker, leads the team with 67 tackles. Safety Cam Curl has 57. Quentin Lake has 45. And 39 by Brian Young. The top sackers on the team, 9 sacks by Brian Young, the linebacker, leads the team. And one of the top sackers in the game, this guy knows how to get after the quarterback. He's no joke. And he's third right now. This guy's the third, he's third in the NFL with sacks. And Brian Young knows how to get after you. So the Saints are going to have to watch out what Mr. Young is at all times. 30 in the NFL in sacks. And, of course, there are other guys like Jared Verse, who has 4 sacks, who also is they know how to manipulate and use these guys. Kobe Turner has 1.5 to go along with that. So, and then, of course, from a secondary standpoint, the only other guy to have interceptions with Cam Curl. So he's having a pretty phenomenal year for the Rams. And, of course, you take a look at their kicking situation. Is Josh Carty, who is currently right now just is 10 for 14 for 71.4%. And this is simply what it is. But the Rams don't have a problem scoring, man. They can move the ball with the best of them. And this is going to be something that the Saints have to watch out for. Okay, let's take a look at the Rams depth chart. Matt Stafford, as I told you, Kyron Williams, Puka. It's like I said, he was questionable, but I think he'll be good to go for the game. Here it is right here. Officially was limited practice participant Wednesday, according to Adam Grossbad of the Orange County Register report. So he was limited, which limited means that he's probably more than likely is going to be a game time decision. I think he'll play. Devontae Adams, Jordan Whitting, as I talked to you about, Tutu Atwell, who's their speed demon, he's out. Tyler Higbee and Davis Allen are the tight ends that they like to use. And you can see the offensive line has been beyond decent. Jackson, Avila, Shelton, Dotson, and Rob Havenstein is dealing with a issue. You can see right here, they said McVay told reporters Monday that Havenstein has an ankle and expected to return to practice this week. So guys are dinged up. So Puka and Havenstein, these guys are banged up, but they're in they should play in the matchup against the Saints, right? And, of course, you transition to the defense. Braden Fisk is a force. Poona Ford, the big nose tackle. Kobe Turner is a guy, I think, third on the team in sacks. Brian Young, I showed you him. He has 9 sacks, which is third in the NFL. Nate Landman leads the team in tackle. Spates is very talented as well. And like I said, these guys are good. Omar Spates is a former LSU guy, so we know he's there handling his business for the team. And Jared Verse, another fantastic player. This guy was the 19 overall pick by them out of Florida State. Y'all remember Mr. Verse. Right now he has 4 tackles. And you have to always be mindful where Jared Verse is on the field. Very talented player. And then in the secondary, Kobe Durant, Cam Curl, who's having a very, very good season. Cameron Kitchens, Emmanuel Forbes Jr., and Quentin Lake are the rest of the secondary. So it's going to be interesting to see how things work out. Remember, Jordan Whittington is a speedster who can also operate as a wide receiver for you. So he's going to be the third guy there with Tutu Atwell out. And you have to watch out because this guy can move and he can also catch the football. So this is some of the stuff to kind of talk about with the team as we keep this thing moving. So this is the part of the game, man, where we kind of look at what we need to do as a team to win moving forward. So let's get into the keys of victory. This is 10 keys of victory for the Saints when they face off against the Rams on Sunday. Now, this is I had kind of wrote these things down, and I just wanted to share them with the family. Number one, keys to victory for the Saints to beat the Rams in LA. They have to protect the football. I call respect the ball. Whether I'm talking about hoops or I'm talking football, you got to respect the ball, meaning no turnovers, right? Protect the football, no fumbles, no interceptions, all this kind of stuff. Saints giving away too many turnovers. Like last week's game, the first couple of possessions were stupid turnovers. We can't do that, man. Turning the ball over, that won't fly against the Rams. The defense is really good at getting the turnovers and turning them into something. That offense, you do not want to give Matthew Stafford a short field with Devontae Adams averaging, 14 yards per catch, and Puka is going to be there, bum ankle and all, but he's still going to be there to make plays. And Williams, you don't want to turn the ball over on a short field and give the Rams with Stafford's offense an opportunity to do that. They will cut you up. Number two, win the second half. The Saints have struggled after halftime. That's yards per play, drops, etc. They must start strong and sustain their edges in the latter quarters. So starting fast and finishing strong should be the motto that Mr. Tifus tells his team. Number three, establish a physical run game. Attacking the run of the Rams front with power and consistency on the ground takes pressure off the rookie quarterback, Tyler Shough. It's Shough's first start of the season. The Rams will be blitz heavy against Tyler Shough. And Shough will have to maintain composure, stand in the face of danger, and deliver down the field. And hopefully the Saints call proper plays that stretch the Rams out and take advantage of them blitzing. If you're hitting downfield and gouging them, they'll be less likely to want to blitz you all out, which is what I think they're going to do. I know they're going to do to Tyler Shough. Number three, they got to establish a physical run game. Elvin and Devin Neal are dealing with ankle issues. So how's that going to impact them in this game? Because we need both of those players, especially Elvin. If we got to throw Taysom in there, Taysom Hill needs to be more involved in the running attack. He needs to be involved in the passing attack. It's too much number 88 playing. The guy misses too many blocks. He's slow to the party. We need to have Taysom Hill involved in these games. Taysom is healthy. We need him in the running attack with Elvin and Devin Neal. We also need to be using him in the wide receiver attack, in the passing attack. More Taysom Hill, please. Number four, get to the quarterback. Ram Stafford must be challenged. He can't sit back there. We talked about it before I got into the keys. You can't allow Matt Stafford to have all that time to stand around and look. He will take off on you and pick up a couple of yards too. So he ain't the fastest guy in it, but he knows how to slide out and pick up a few yards here or there. He has all kind of platform throws, sidearm throws. You want to get to him, knock him around, and frustrate him. And we'll see what Staley does. Number five, we got to exploit the mismatch opportunities in the coverage. With the Rams showing them strong coverage stats, the Saints must identify and exploit the weaknesses in the slot or the tight end or in situational plays. We have to be able to line up the mismatches. Taysom Hill, Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave. We got to be looking and hunting for weak spots out there as opposed to running scripted plays and just running plays with no feel, no soul to them. These plays don't have any soul because they're not lined up with the rhythm pattern of the game. And what I mean by that is when you're watching a defense and the defense is giving you opportunities because the safety's dropping to the linebacker level or perhaps the defensive line level, they're showing you that guy is coming in there. That means that they're giving you opportunity to have one less guy in coverage, which you'll have one of your players either wide open or a guy that's one-on-one. You need to locate that matchup and take advantage of it. You see what I'm saying? Smart plays that directly connect to the rhythmatic flow of the game, not all these old dumb plays that let's just call this for shit's sake, man. Come on, man. We have to do better than that. It's just the play callings is really suspect to me, right? Number six, convert in the red zone. Come on, fam. Against the Rams defense, they allow very few touchdowns inside the red zone, but the Saints still must score in the red zone. They got to finish these drives with touchdowns and not settle for field goals or turnovers. This is why we're 1-7. We don't do good in the red zone with Shough in there. Maybe it's an infusion of excitement with the rest of these guys. They've actually started catching and blocking better. Me personally, I think that if you want to see change on the offensive line. The Saints should have been bringing in offensive linemen and trying them out and understanding what you're dealing with. Your problem is up front, interiorly speaking. Now, Fortner played well at the center position, but Cesar Ruiz has been inconsistent, not only this year, but previous years. But in terms of Kellen Moore seeing him, that's something that he has to recognize. And hopefully we can trade him before the trade deadline. Even if we get a pick or something, we just need to clear the spot so we can look to build up. Because Penning will be gone. This is the last year on this contract. We don't have to worry about him. Cesar Ruiz, we could be traded. We could fill these slots with either veterans or draft picks and keep this thing moving. We gotta develop a meaner disposition, internally speaking, for that offensive line. All right. So anyway, number 7, avoid the quick 3 and outs. How about that? Sustain drives, keep momentum on the Saints side, and get a defense rest. The Saints must stay ahead of the chains. I know this is a lot to ask for because we have not consistently seen it, but at some point you will want to see it fire off, being that we're already in week number 9, right? You gotta we gotta see something, hopefully, right? Number 8, special teams do matter. Field goals, third down returns, punt return, kick coverage, and tight matchup. These phases can tilt the game. So if the Saints defense is on par, the offense is scoring, we can't score with the Rams. You know, maybe if we can open up the play call and change it, but based on what I've been seeing from weeks number 1 to weeks number 8, the Saints cannot outscore a Rams team unless they have a total defensive, really an offensive line shift in how they're going to choose to attack downfield. And until we see that, I don't think, your mindset can't be we got to score touchdown for touchdowns with the Rams. No, you got to get on. You got to fruster, turn them over if you can, and then when you turn them over, you get points. And the Saints have to be able to score as many touchdowns as they can with drives and play defense. Number 9, stay disciplined. Penalties at the wrong time, killing the momentum, especially when you're playing a team like the Rams who capitalize on those freebies. You can't do that. Stay disciplined, stay disciplined. And finally, the final key to victory for the New Orleans Saints against the Rams in week number 9 is execution in the crunch time. Late game situations, 2-minute drills, high leverage moments, right, will decide the kind of matchup the Saints' composure in in-game scenarios do matter as well. So the Saints, they'll have to execute when it matters. That's the part of the game where we faded in. And when you just turn the ball over, a dumbass will have a false start, dumbass will have a drop ball, or something stupid like that. We have to avoid that. If the Saints can do half these, do 70% of the keys to victory, they should. I don't know if they're going to win the game because I think the Rams might be a little bit too much for them, but it'll serve as an exciting mark going into the season because if you can beat the Rams, they're number 1 right now in the NFC West. If you can beat the Rams, and I'm not saying the Saints will, I got them picked to lose this game, but if Tyler Shough is a change and you can, what he does well is throw the ball down the field. He has a big arm. We don't need to do all the check down stuff. We need to use all of our vertical stuff as much as we can to get at them because them people sending their blitzers. They coming to Jared Versus. These guys are coming for you. You got to take advantage of them. They're going to blitz the hell out of you. You got to attack them downfield and make them pay to stop, to understand what this is. Or if not, they're just going to eat your breakfast. Checking the ball down behind the line of scrimmage on third down is not going to cut it. So anyway, that's what I got for y'all for this on this episode of The Coma. Listen, I appreciate you guys for chiming in, but listen, let me know what you think as well. Put in the comment section what you guys think as well. I think tomorrow morning we'll put up the poll for week number 9 and see what you guys think about the Saints, who wins this matchup between the Saints and the Rams. I personally picked the Rams. I think it'll be too much for the Saints, but the Saints can make it exciting if they can start getting into a more vertical, a more north to south approach as opposed to east to west. East to west is okay, but you have to get kind of rework themselves as a vertical. And like I said, man, I would be happy if we had an offense similar to the Rams. Like if you would go take one of their offensive core, their top offensive system and bring them in, kick this other guy out of here. This guy's just too east to west, man. He's scared to throw the ball deep, man. We got to get downfield, man. We got to have more fun that way. And even though if the Saints are losing the games, at least they make it lively. These other games that we've been watching they're dreadful. Especially that last game was one of the worst games I've seen in a long time from the Saints. And we've been saying shit football from the Saints for the last 4 years. So that's saying a lot. Anyway, they dropped to a bad level, Mike Dicker level. Bad. They are Mike Dicker level bad. That has to change, man. We can't be doing the same thing. All right, so anyway, that's it. That's all I got for y'all today on this episode of the show. Y'all do me a service and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe buttons, the notification bells, all the fancy buttons. Light them up, hit them up. If you're not a sub up to the coma. Statistics are indicating a lot of people watch the coma. They're not subbed. You might not know you're not subbed. So I'm asking you to hit the sub button. If you watch the coma, you're not subbed. Look at the sub button. You're probably not subbed. Hit that button and light them up. Anyway, with that being said, fam, listen, y'all check out the Patreon show that's already up from for our YouTube membership family. And there's also some extra content we have on Patreon that we dropped about the NFL scandal, the NBA scandal, Freudian slip, with the La Cosa Nostra people and 300 arrests that they're not telling you about. We got that up for our Patreon people to check that out, man, as well. So anyway, with that being said, y'all check out the links. Give our sponsors some love in the comment section, man, for Optary, Mint Mobile, and T. Chinley. The links are in the description section below. Check out the WhoDatDaily.com, the new WhoDatDaily.com for all your news, notes, and items. And I will see the rest of you guys later on tomorrow's stream. But tonight we'll be on the Pelican postgame report PPR final as the Pels battle the Denver Chicken McNuggets for an opportunity to get their first win of the season. So my Pale and my Hoops people, you can kind of move on over to PPR. I'll be there tonight. EDC and Lex recapping, hopefully a Pelicans win. So we'll see. With that being said, I'm out. I'm going to holler at y'all later on. Much love. Who Dat? Peace.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. Thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, Buggy like this and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with the WhoDatDaily.com, your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit the WhoDatDaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation. Stay in the NO, you stay in the know.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.